Hi there, I'm Verified Champion Trader Kevin Davey, and today I'm going to be talking about algo trading performance metrics. So let's get started. Today, I'm going to tell you about 4 different things. First, I'm going to talk about average bars and some of their performance metrics. Second, I'm going to give you some pitfalls, just some tips as we go along to help you in building better strategies for yourself. Third, the results I'm going to show you are realistic. They're real world results. They're from strategies I trade. And finally, I'm going to tell you how you can do this yourself if you want to pursue algo trading and developing your own systems. Remember, if you have questions, you can send me an email, you can leave a comment. There's lots of ways to get a hold of me. So here's your typical performance report. Again, this is TradeStation, but other types of software, other platforms have similar numbers and similar statistics. The big thing with performance numbers is it's overwhelming. There's just a lot of them. And a lot of them, you probably don't even care about. There's one that says, what's the average win after a series of losses? Well, do you really care about that? Some people do, but most people don't. But you do have to be careful because when you see anyone else's performance numbers, you got to make sure you understand how they were built. And I'm going to show you an example of that in a second. The numbers I show are from walk forward optimization. They're all out of sample and real-time results, kind of a combination. And they are from actual strategies I trade. I took a group of 30 strategies I'm trading, and those are the ones I'm showing you numbers. So these aren't fake kind of wishful thinking type systems. These are actual strategies and actual numbers for those strategies. So keep that in mind. And again, it's worth repeating, the numbers I show are not optimized numbers. So you might say, well, what were you saying about performance reports knowing how they were built? Well, take a look at this A and B, these two strategies. You might say B is better, but what if I then told you, well, B is the result of optimization. It's an optimized backtest where A is a walk forward test. Well, now all of a sudden A might be better. The problem is just from looking at the numbers, there's no way for you to know which is which. So keep that in mind when you look at numbers. If you don't know how the strategy was created, you can't really rely on those numbers. I mean, I have people all the time who send me emails and say, what do you think of this strategy? And they'll send me a performance report. And I'll say, I don't know. How am I supposed to know? I don't know how you developed it. Usually people don't like that answer. So anyways, today's numbers, we're going to talk about average bars. And I'll show you what I mean by that. If we get rid of everything that's not important, we're going to look at the average bars in total trades, winning trades, and losing trades. Okay? Over a whole bunch of strategies. Let's first look at the average number of bars in trades for all of them. It says, if you look at the middle box, the median value of my strategies, 16 bars. So that means on average, I'm in a trade for 16 bars. Now the bars could be different sizes. I'll show you that in a little bit. But for the most part, 50%, that's where most of my trades are as far as the length in bars, around 16 or so. And there's definitely some scatter. You can see that over on this, what's called a box plot over on the left. Half of them fall between 7 and 60. Okay, and then there's one strategy that I actually,
order filled,
on average, stay in for 400 bars. Wow. And if that happens to be a daily system, that means I stay in a trade for a couple of years. I'll show you in a second which one that is. So that's average for all trades. If you look at winners, again, there's Like you've seen before, if you've watched any of these other videos that I've done, the winners are skewed differently than the losers. And the winners, I normally stay in about 26 bars. That's the median value. But for the losers, I'm only in about 13. The old adage, you stay in your winners, you ride your winners, you cut your losses, that kind of applies. Now, I didn't necessarily intend that when I built the strategies. I kind of just wanted to build whatever works, and that's what ended up working, where you stay in winners longer than you stay in losers. Here's another number, the average monthly profit, because people are always concerned about, hey, does this strategy make enough money? So on average, at the median value, my strategies, these 30 at least, make about $500 a month. And that's after slippage and commission. That's all one contract. I have some that only make a little bit, only $90 a month. You might be like, is that worth even trading? Well, it is in a portfolio. It might require a little bit of margin, and it might be a consistent profit generator. You don't know. But on average, about $500 average monthly profit for a strategy. So that gives you some idea. I'm not going for $10,000 a month average profit because it's unattainable. And a lot of people, a lot of newer traders, tend to think that's the way to go, where you make huge amounts of average profit with your strategies. No. Each one of these strategies by itself, okay, maybe they make about $6,000 a year. That's not that great. But if you add them all up in a portfolio, then it starts to be meaningful. Okay, so here's a chart of bar size versus the number of bars in a trade. So the bar size is along the x-axis, and you can see it goes from probably 1 or 2 minutes, that's the smallest size I use, up to 1440 minute bars. All the bars I trade, all the systems I trade, I should say, all use time-based bars. And there's specific reasons for that I discuss in my course. But a 1440 minute is basically a daily bar. It's a 24-hour bar, but the markets are usually 23, so it's a 23-hour bar, really. But you can kind of get an idea of how mine are scattered. So remember that one that was 400 bars, that's way up here at the top. Well, that's a very short time period. It's actually a 60-minute bar. And you can kind of guess and kind of figure this out. This point is a 1 day average. Up there is about a 1 month. And then over towards the right, it's up to about 3 months, up to about 60 bars, which would be about 60 trading days, which is roughly, with 20 trading days a month, usually about 3 months or so. So you get an idea, there's a wide scatter. And you might say, wow, you have a 60-minute bar that actually leads to a 1 month holding time? That seems kind of crazy. And that, you can kind of see it's an outlier. So I don't have many like that. In fact, that's the only one that I'm trading right now. Most of the trades I'm looking at are in the 5 to 10 day range or so. And there's another video that's in the series. If you don't see it in the playlist on YouTube, it'll be there soon. But that will actually show you the time in days. And so this is a little different because this is just the time in number of bars. Again, I say this over and over, but the numbers alone are meaningless. So just because you have good numbers here doesn't really mean anything unless the strategy was built properly. If the strategy is an over-optimized curve fit piece of garbage, then the numbers are really meaningless. So you got to watch out for that. One way to create meaningful numbers is through what I call a strategy factory. This is how I develop all my systems, how all my students develop their systems. And it takes you from goals, and it either ends up at a working system, or usually the idea gets thrown away and you test something else. If you're interested in checking this out, go to my website, kjtradingsystems.com, click on workshop. I have a live class every 7 weeks, and it is pretty much the premier algo trading course that's out there. I just want to say thanks. Please subscribe, hit the like button, leave a comment. Let me know what some of your systems are doing. I'd love to hear you. I'm Kevin Davey. Have a great day.